Now let's do an in-depth review on this Brinyte PT16A. This is a special request. Somebody wanted me to go through the entire box and contents and everything, and I'm totally good with that. I love doing special requests because it means somebody's getting to see exactly what they want to see. So we're going to start out with this box. I don't typically show boxes and contents and stuff. It is a very nice box actually, and well put together. There was a little like organizing paper thing down in here to hold the light. I went ahead and took that out so we can kind of get to what we're doing here. The flashlight comes with this clip right here, and it also comes with this ring. If you wanted to put this on, you would take the tail off, you pull the silicone ring that I'll show you all in a minute when I show you the battery. You pull this little retaining ring, you pull the clip off, and then you can put this on, and this is going to be on there, and it's going to just kind of give you a ring to put your finger through and hold the light at the same time. It kind of helps you make sure you're not losing your light. It also comes with some spare O-rings. It's good to see. Comes with an instruction manual that I won't go into because I'm going to show you the operation of the light, and I'm actually going to show you some operation of this light that the instruction manual doesn't even go into. It has a little lanyard and a really good holster. That's everything in there. Let's show you this holster. I don't use holsters, but if I did, this would be one that I would use. I would put this on a backpack or something. I'm not huge on having anything on my side necessarily, but this is a good quality holster. You know, it lets you adjust it, swivel it around. It's got some little side slots here that you could put a tool or a spare battery in or something, I suppose. Then the main little compartment allows for you to send the light down in there and then have it. Hope I'm doing this right. I've never actually stuck this in here, so bear with me. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I am seeing that you would do it that way, and they put a hole down there. That way, I guess if it accidentally gets turned on, it won't burn up your holster. Pretty interesting the way they made it to where it's sticking out like that. I guess you could even go hands-free. If you had this on your side, you could go ahead and hit it up and turn it on and be walking around with some light shooting out your side, hands-free. That's actually pretty cool. I didn't think about that until I'm just doing this just now. So pretty interesting option right there with that holster. Okay, so you saw the light kind of flickering on when I was putting it in the holster. That is because I was bumping these buttons back here. There is an auto lock feature. When we were looking at it just a second ago, you saw the little green light on there. That's the battery indicator, and it also lets me know that it's locked on the side. See how it came back on? That is a safety feature, so that way you're not accidentally bumping this side button while it's in your pocket and turning it on. There are these two buttons back here. This button right here is going to give you instant access to turbo, and this button here is going to give you instant access to strobe. That is never locked. Those are unlocked at all times. You always have that. I really like that. I'm glad they did that because I'm not a huge fan of having a flashlight locked. I want to be able to pull it up and see what I need to see immediately without unlocking it. I'm okay with them locking this one out because that means, you know, like I said already, it's not accidentally getting bumped. It's easier to turn that on in your pocket. If you look at your instruction manual, you're going to not see what I'm fixing to tell you. This is information that's not in the instruction manual. When you unlock this, you triple press and it will turn on now in the last mode that it was in. So it was last on in turbo. I just stepped it down to the lowest setting. We're going to turn it all the way back up just to show you all the modes, and then we'll hold down on it and turn it off. Now it has memory mode on this side button right here. Even when it locks back out, I would unlock it with a triple press, and then I would turn it on, and it comes back on in whatever setting it was in. I like that because then I have the ability to turn it on in the lowest setting, or I have the opportunity to turn it on in the highest setting. So whichever you're needing at the moment, you could go to the side or you could go to the back. That part is not in the instruction manual, so that's why I figured I'd just go ahead and not even look at the instruction manual. So then we have turbo back here. That cancels out the memory on the side. So now when you go back to the side, it's going to come on in the highest setting. Then strobe alert, you have instant access to strobe. With the amount of throw that this has, I can get people's attention with the strobe even in daylight. So that's been pretty impressive. There are these little glass breakers on it right up front here. See those 3 little glass breakers? Could be like a self-defense type thing, I guess, you know, if you needed it, but pretty interesting that they put that there. You could break some glass if you needed to. The emitter down in there, I'm going to try to get you a look at that. That is an SFT70, which is different from the last model that they did, which is an SFT40. So different emitter, provides a little bit more of a flood and not as tight of a beam, like I said in my other video. I'm going to go ahead and show you all this battery, and while we have this off, I'll show you a little bit more of what I was talking about putting that O-ring on. So, or taking the O-ring off, I'm sorry. The O-ring right there would need to come off, and then you would take this piece right here that I'm sliding back and forth off, and you would take the clip off, and then you would place this that I was talking about. You'd place that down on there. It's gonna slide on, and then you replace your O-ring, and then reapply some kind of O-ring lubricant if you have some, and then you would put it all back together. I kind of like the clip because I carry it in the pocket, but you know, whatever your preference is, you have options. There's that 21700 battery that I really like. That is a button top, and I haven't tried a flat top to see if it would work in here. Don't know if it would. I'm looking down in there. It might make contact, but at any rate, it comes with that battery right there, so I haven't had any need or desire to try any type of other cell in it. With that battery in it, I'm able to charge it with this charging port. Notice that the charging port cover is better now. They upgraded that. It's got Type-C charging, and I actually have the very cable that it came with. This cable was in the box as well, and I pre-hooked it to a little charging bank here, so that way I can show you all what it does. I typically wouldn't use a charging bank like this. I just plug it into the wall, obviously, but you have that option because look at it, it is charging. It comes up in a red light, and let me try to get that to actually look red. I don't know, looking on camera it looks like it's white, but it's not, it's red. So red light, charging, green light means it's done charging. Real simple, real cool. I like that you can charge your battery right inside the light if you need to. I also have external chargers, and I charge my cells outside of the light sometimes if I need to, but you got that nice option, and it's nicely covered, so that way your port is protected now. And then as far as having the light while it's charging, I wanted to show you all that. That's right, let's throw this back in here real quick. That way I'm not just telling you, I'm showing you. I want to show you all what this thing will do. So while it's charging, you may have a need to use your light. If you're charging and using your light, you do need to know that it's only going to come on in the lowest setting. And then the next setting. Okay, cool. So when I was playing around with this earlier, I didn't try mashing the side button. When I was fooling around with the button at the back here, okay, I had only mashed turbo. I didn't know that if I would mash the other button, it would step up into the next level. So you're getting the 5 lumen and you're getting the 120 lumen while charging. That's a pretty good little feature. So if you were, again, you know, like in an emergency situation or whatever, you could be charging off of some power bank and you're hooked up and you can go ahead and hit it up and use your light while charging. Not a bad feature in my opinion. Now, let's go ahead and see what we can do with this thing out in the dark. I was just kidding. I am going to show you all something in the instruction manual. This is a runtime chart and output. Right here we have 3000 lumen on turbo, and you're going to get that for 1 minute. Then it's going to step down to 600 for 135 minutes. You can come on high at 900 lumen for 230 minutes. This is the figure that I'm really wanting to show you before we go out here. We're going to go in some trails out here in the woods out behind the property, and I'm going to show you what 120 lumen looks like. And just know that you get to use that 120 lumen for 20 hours. That's really good. That's a lot of light at 20 hours, and you're going to see how much light that is out here. And then 5 lumen, on account of this being a good thrower, it's throwing out those 5 lumen and making them really useful. That is going to run for 300 hours. Do the math on that. It's really impressive. 300 hours on the lowest setting coming out of this light is really a lot of light, and it could be really useful in an emergency setting. The beam distance is 458 meters. Most lights in this size platform are going to be around 300 meters, so you got an extra 158 meters. Really makes sense with the type of optic that they used on it. And then I don't know if anybody gets into candela, but 52,500 candela is about average for a size light like this. You're getting a little bit less candela, excuse me, because of the emitter that they used. It's giving it a little bit more flood than the, like say, the SFT40 emitter that's in this older brother version of it. But I just wanted to show you all these numbers so that way when we go outside you understand where I'm getting the run times from. Check it out. We're out here in the woods now. It's really dark. Got a little bit of moonlight overhead, but it's pretty overcast. And I'm just going to show you all real quick this little button right here. See how it's lit up green? That's letting me know how my battery's doing. Got a nice full battery, so I'm going to triple press this side button because I want to show you all how it works. We just unlocked it and then we turn it on. I just turned it on into the last mode that it was in, which is the lowest mode, and at that level right there, so we're going to start walking here, and I'm just going to show you all how much light I have. I'm looking on camera, and obviously I'm looking off camera so I don't trip on something, and I have plenty of light. And what's cool is this would get me by for 300 hours according to their information, according to their chart. I can walk along out here in the woods for 300 hours. It's going to be back daylight before that runs out. So now let's go ahead and step it up to the next level. Whoa. Alright, we may have to adjust our camera just a little bit here. we got a lot more light, and I didn't want to blind you all, so I adjusted it a little bit, and now we're walking along for 20 hours at that level right there. That is a whole lot of light. Let me go ahead and go over here, catch some distance. I'm gonna go ahead and step it up another notch. Looking back in here, now you're at 3 hours and some change, just a little bit under 4 hours at that level. And then according to their chart, that's going to get you by at turbo there for a minute, and then it's going to step down for like roughly 2 hours. But what I really like, I just can't stress it enough, is at that level right there, you are cruising around for 20 hours on that level. That's the cool thing about that 21700, is you can just take a hike, got plenty of light. Definitely a really cool emergency situation light to have on hand if you're gonna have some kind of power failure for an extended period of time and you're not able to charge your light anytime soon. This is a really cool light to have. Alright, thank you all for watching. If you have any questions, hit them up.